people, welcome to the channel. This is Self-Proclaimed Blue Dragon. We're doing the monthly Q&A. I always give preferential treatment to my $10 patrons or higher for the questions that are highlighted in this monthly video, but I also answer questions from readers, commenters, viewers like you. I like to answer those questions. In the background, I am working on a page that I was actually really fucking proud of, screentoning, which is, I think, probably my least favorite part of the process. I don't know, it changes from time to time, but the last panel, the bottom panel, where Kana, like the way she's standing, this is actually one of the panels that I kept almost exact from the original. This is obviously from the revamp, but that was very highly influenced by Rubber Soul. I don't know if that's my favorite Beatle album, or if it's Revolver, or if it's Sgt. Pepper's, or if it's Magical Mystery Tour, or if it's Abbey Road, or if it's Let It Be. I don't know. I love them all. I like their earlier shit too, but yeah. Anyway, Rubber Soul was definitely up there on my list. And for those of you who've been around the channel, you might know that I am a massive Beatle fan, and so I try to sneak little allusions to their work in here and there, either through sentences or titles or shit like that. I also like to do that with other bands that I like, but yeah, I haven't done a nod to the Beatles in a while, so that's one of them right there. Obviously, Rin shoving her face on the glasses part of that album cover. Before we get started with the Q&A and my obligatory bullshit, yeah, this is for adults, and maybe you want an ad blocker. First up, though, I want to do a shout out and legitimately thank Panda Cop. He has a channel here on YouTube. I'm gonna put a link to his comics and his YouTube channel down in the description. I was very pleasantly surprised to see him give me a shout out, and I really appreciate that. Really fucking cool of him, doing a solid for him. His comics, I've been kind of keeping an eye on his stuff for a bit, but I haven't subscribed or anything yet because I've got a backlog of comics that I need to read. But I had been checking out the Cosmic Warriors Battle Arena, and the cool thing about that is a lot of people that I read on Comic Fury participate in that, like Mighty Guy 15, who does Sokaka. I don't know if I've talked much about him. I feel like I talked about him in one video, but that's one comic that I really fucking enjoy. And there's a bunch of other people in the community who participate in this battle arena, and it's just a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy. I don't really know how to describe it because it's better than that. What the fuck was that MTV thing where it was the claymation shit fighting Celebrity Deathmatch? That's it. Okay, yeah. God, I smoke too much. But yeah, no, it's better than that because it's artists and stuff within the community. Not to shit on that art. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know why I brought it up. But go check out his stuff. It looks really fucking cool. He's got some comics on there. Hell High, Kung Fu Grandma. I know I've looked through that one. I don't know if I subbed or not. Sometimes I read shit and I don't comment. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm just weird. Sometimes I forget what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know, I'm all over the place. If I'm talking a little manic and I'm a little kind of edgy right now, it's just because there's a lot of shit going on, as there always is. There's always something going on, but this time it's good shit. We're moving into a new apartment. Our lease is up in the one that we're in right now, and I don't want to get into details, but we've had an awful time. One problem after the other, culminating in January, my partner losing a lot of irreplaceable shit to the building being I'm not going to get into it. Insurance won't pay for it, but the apartment complex admits that it's their building's fault and nobody will pay for it. So we're getting the fuck out of here and moving into a new place, and it's going to be awesome because it's an old house and I like old shit. I'm an old soul. I always have been, always will be. But anyway. So I've got kind of a lot of stuff going on that I'm juggling right now, and if I'm talking really fast, it's just because I'm kind of hyped up. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been on a really weird sleep schedule. I work best in the AM hours, but I keep trying to force myself on a normal schedule, and it just keeps not working. I don't know. I shouldn't be sleeping during the day, but do. So, there's that. Okay, let's get into this. The majority of these questions are related to Act 5 of the revamp of Dark Horse, my free not safe for work webcomic. But I also did have a question regarding the comic Fury Zine. Just one question. I was asked, when does the zine release? We don't have a hard set date for the release yet. However, just like last year, we're looking at that window of July 15th through the 31st. So the latter part of July. It's still going to be summer. It's going to be right in the middle of summer. Yeah, we're probably going to release sometime within that window if all goes well. We are no longer taking applications for that. We filled all the spots, and we've got one backup, our returning champion, Blue Raven C. Hoovener. I fucking love his comics. They're always fucking solid. You can check it out in the... I'm gonna put in the iCard one of the zine videos I did, but he's our returning champion. If anyone drops out, he's our backup, and he's already participated in 2 of the zines. So really cool guy, just really friendly dude. I really like him. So you can check out his shit too. It's not shit. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Alright, now we're getting into Dark Horse questions. There may possibly be spoilers for Act 5 in here, so if you want to skip to the end of the video where I'm just advertising myself, you can. I'll put the timestamp up here. But first question. Does Rena smoke pot? Followed by, how old is she again? Le gasp. No, that's not how they asked it. It's not. So, Rena was born on the 7th of February, 1984. Therefore, in June, the end of June of 1999, she would be 15. Kana is also 15. Her birthday, I think, is May 31st is when I made it. And she's also 15 at this point. And yeah, Rena Shock smokes pot. Believe it or not, there's a lot of teenagers, whether or not they should, they smoke pot. Rin's brother is kind of into the grunge movement. He very obviously smokes and is usually the hookup, but he doesn't like let her smoke all the time, mostly because it's his shit and pot was still illegal at this time. Her parents would probably rather she not smoke pot, but they would be a little bit hypocritical because they were both freaks in the 60s and 70s, or hippies is what we would call them. They were freaks. It was more like the later part of the 60s and early 70s. So, yeah, I mean, they obviously don't approve of their daughter smoking pot in high school, but anyway, let's move along to the next question. Also, don't take this just because I have a character who is smoking pot. If you're a teenager, you shouldn't even be on here. Goodbye. But if anyone, I don't want anyone to misquote me. Just because characters do something, it does not necessarily mean that the author supports people going out and doing stuff. There's going to be people killing each other in this comic, and I don't agree with killing. So there's my disclaimer. Should be common sense, but you know, you gotta say it. Next question. Is Yuli going to save Rena? And this is in reference to this scene here. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. And I am going to answer the question with a question. Is Yuli going to save Rena? Or is Rena going to save Yuli? Or are they going to save each other? Or is Kana going to swoop in and save the day? We don't know. I can't answer that question. I sound sarcastic. I'm really not. I'm just having fun. I'm just being goofy. It's not a bad question. But I can't answer that question. You'll have to read and find out. I feel like that's always a cop-out answer, but also it's like this delicate line that people have to tread. It's like some stuff you don't want to spell out, some things you don't even know if it's there. Other things, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like an author, it's weird calling myself an author. It feels weird anyway. But, you know, you don't know how much you want to give away or how much is actually there, how much is just things that you take for granted. I don't know. I mean, and some things is like, no, that's not at all what I meant, but that's what people get from it. So I don't know. I mean, it always feels very weird answering some questions because I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting my thought across very well on that. Because I don't want to, like, tell people what to think, or... One, there's always, like, the threat of spoilers, but two, I don't like to tell people what to think. I just kind of like to present things, and certainly there are definitely things that I want to get across, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I think that everyone should abide by this or that, or whatever. Like, Kana, the main character, is Catholic, but my dad's side of the family, they're all lapsed Catholics, and... while I am presenting a character who is extremely religious, it doesn't mean that I think everyone should go out there and join the religion, the faith that the character is ascribed to, if that makes sense. Mostly, I just want to make characters that reflect people that exist, and usually it's kind of based very loosely on people that I've known, and then I just take the character in whatever direction, just because that's the best way I know how to create characters. I'm just people that I've known, and, you know, my assumptions and things that I've experienced, so... yeah. Anyway, next question. Is the voice Rin is hearing real? That's in reference to this page. I will say she is hearing it, but it's not audible. It's like a little, you know, like how we all have like that voice in our head. Hopefully not more than one. No offense if you do have more than one. I don't mean that in like a disparaging way. Word of Wednesday, disparaging. I don't mean it that way. But this is not her voice that is in her head. And that's all I can say. Wow, that's the last question that I have written down. Whoa. What was that, Joey? I'm sorry. Having fever flashbacks to my childhood. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining me this week. Do I have a question of the week? Like I said, I'm kind of scattered right now. I've been kind of dropping the ball on questions anyway. Let's see. What do I want to ask? Oh, I know. Who do you want to save the day in Dark Horse? I'm not going to guarantee that whatever answer you give is going to be how things unfold, but it would be interesting to either see who you want or who you think is going to be kind of the main hero. Yeah, I think that's an okay question. So says I. Oh, wow. So, next week, please join me. I think next week I am either going to be doing... I haven't recorded it yet, but I have a schedule. I'm either going to be doing a how I use references video, talking about when I use exact reference and when I use... you know, like Frankensteining things together. Or I might start the month out with an Asian History Month video. I don't want to go into too much personal detail, but I don't usually talk about that side of my family just because it wasn't like my personal lived experience. However, my dad does look somewhat Asian, kind of. My grandmother is from the Philippines, or she was from the Philippines. Her biological father was an American. I'm not going to talk about him at all. And then she met my grandfather, who seemed like a really cool dude. She met him in the Philippines during the war, and then she moved to the US, to Washington actually, and that's where they got married. But I don't want to talk about this in detail. At any rate, like, I'm so quote-unquote watered down that I really don't look Asian, so I don't talk about it much on my channel because I feel like it's kind of stealing from other people's actual lived experience. But I also want to talk about it because I'm certainly not... I don't want to give the impression that I'm at all ashamed or embarrassed by it. It's just kind of like, you know, you got like this tiptoeing balancing act when you really don't look something, but you have it in you, and it's like, I don't want to like take from people who have, you know, with all this rampant racism and just outright like attacks and murders going on right now. I mean, I don't want to take away from other people's experience, but I also don't want to give the impression that, like, I'm trying to hide anything. Well, anyway, I'm probably going to do that next week. I'll talk about that a little bit next week. And then the following week, I think, is when I'm going to do my references video. So, yeah. If you want to support the channel, links are down in the description. Not mandatory, always appreciated. It goes back into the arts, either helping me improve my art, or I'll use it to buy things that I want to help improve my art, or supplies and shit like that. So if you feel like supporting the channel, I got Patreon or one-time donation buttons? Links down in the description. Otherwise, like, sub, do the bell thing. That all is groovy, that all helps. If you're on BitChute, I'm finally uploaded a video over there. Holy shit. I don't know when this one's going up. I'm so disorganized. Ugh. But, yeah, all that stuff is down in the description. And, yeah, thank you all again. Peace and love. Like, legit, I mean that. Peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.